Hey, what's going on YouTube? We're back with another video, and this time around we're looking at two different SMGs. Now these SMGs perplex me a little bit. Just by looking at Trials Report, you see other SMGs that can get similar or better rolls, which yes, that's a big deal, but not everybody has good RNG, and these SMGs are craftable. So not only can they get good rolls, but they can also get the enhanced versions. Plus, if you're like me, then you'd rather have a crafted weapon over any random drop anyway. I know not everyone thinks that way, but I also know I'm not alone. So which two SMGs am I talking about? Well, you have to subscribe to find out. JK. But that subscribe button is a glutton for punishment, so please give it a nice smashing for me. Now, the two SMGs we're looking at today are the Rapacious Appetite and the Forensic Nightmare. I'll start with Rapacious Appetite. This was my answer to the Immortal when it first came out. Simply because I never got that god roll, and I generally don't farm for things, so I just get my weekly flawless and I'd get out of trials. But Rapacious Appetite really stuck out to me because it came with the, at the time, golden perk and target lock. Target lock has since been nerfed, but I honestly still see it all the time. So while Rapacious doesn't intrinsically come with the cracked stats that you usually get from a trials weapon like Immortal, I felt it was close enough to compete, and it more than proved itself to me. The roll you're seeing footage of is Perpetual Motion and Target Lock with corkscrew rifling and ricochet rounds, along with the range masterwork. You could also mix things up with Encore or Cascade Point, but my goal was to craft the poor man's Immortal, so Target Lock is a must. It sadly doesn't come with the other meta options like Dynamic Sway Reduction or Tap the Trigger, but it still holds its own. It does, however, have a pretty interesting origin trait in Unsated Hunger, which increases handling, reload speed, and stability when no abilities are fully charged. So if you're rocking an ability-heavy build, then that perk is always active. As far as a rating goes, I'll give Rapacious a 7 out of 10. It doesn't necessarily feel as good as Aikilo's, but it does open up that energy slot for you. It's a decent fill-in for Immortal if you don't have one. I'd say it's just a step past ritual weapon level, which now ritual weapons are just viewed as stepping stones until you acquire god rolls. Now let's focus our attention on the Forensic Nightmare. And before we do that, please remember that that sub button really is a glutton for punishment, and it's telling me you didn't smash it hard enough, so please try that one more time for me. Okay, where were we? Forensic Nightmare, right. Forensic Nightmare really shocked me with how good it felt. I never really used precision frame SMGs until Unending Tempest came around, and I've definitely been missing out. Forensic Nightmare can roll with Perpetual Motion and Kill Clip, which is what I'm using, and if you watch a bunch of my videos, you'll see that if Perpetual Motion is there, I'm probably using it. You get a free passive stat bump so long as you aren't somewhere camping. It can also roll with Heating Up, Slideways, and Swashbuckler. Now the exact roll I have is Perpetual Motion, Kill Clip, Hammer Forge Rifling, Ricochet Rounds, and a Ranged Masterwork. Now the two SMGs we're looking at today, Forensic Nightmare is definitely my favorite. I mentioned earlier that I had slept on precision frames for quite some time, that is until Unending Tempest came. That gun felt really good, but then I needed something for trials, and with it being zone capture nowadays, I have to be prepared for Bubble Titans, so out comes the Conditional Finality. Can't run Conditional and Unending at the same time, so I dug in my vault and I found a bunch of Shair's Wrath that I had never used. Pulled a quick draw kill clip roll, and I fell in love. Now, as I tend to do, I fell in love with a certain weapon archetype and then immediately go look to see if I can craft my own. That's how I stumbled upon Forensic Nightmare. This gun feels really good, and I'm not sure why no one is talking about it. Now, obviously, if you're like me, then you've reset your Crucible rank enough times that farming for a god roll unending would take like 5 minutes. But not everyone is like that. Some people hardly touch the Crucible or don't have enough resources to farm with. Or maybe you're really like me and you just prefer crafted weapons over everything else. Whatever the reason, this gun is seriously slept on. It can't run with target lock like an Unending Tempest can, but Unending can't get kill clip, and it definitely can't get Heating Up kill clip. Don't get me wrong, Unending is very good, but this is a more than serviceable second option. So for my rating of Forensic Nightmare, I give it a 9 out of 10. And that's mainly because kill clip is doing a lot of the heavy lifting. I definitely suggest crafting both of these. Forensic, if I'm not mistaken, is a world drop from Savathun's Throne World, and you can pick up Rapacious Appetite from the Helm. Anyways, that's going to be it for me today, guys. Hope you enjoyed this review. If you did, how about liking the video and hitting that sub button? I'd really appreciate it, but regardless, thanks for watching. Peace.